Real driving test in Coventry, 25th of November 2024. As we can see, she's passed, and she's passed with one minor fault. So that's brilliant news, isn't it? And as we follow this video along, the one minor fault that she had will become obvious. So anyway, we're turning out of the test centre. We're going to turn left. So this is a real driving test with a real driving examiner and a real learner on a real test, and we're going to see where they go and how she gets on. We're on Bayton Road, and she's got to work her way through where all of these lorries are parked and all past these kind of industrial units. And we can see that the traffic in front is having to slow down to let people through. And now you can see that Ellie, our hero from this video, is also slowing down, and she's slowed down in order to make progress. And that's very, very good. And that's something she's particularly good at, actually. So that's forward planning, isn't it, really? That's, you know, anticipating what's ahead and then, you know, finding the spaces and moving in. So she's very good at that. And this time she's had to stop dead, obviously. There's too much traffic coming through. And there are people walking just around the back of this lorry as well. So she needs to be quite careful, which she has been. And that's going to bring us up to the traffic lights. Now you will notice that the background noise on this particular video has been completely muted. And that's not the same for all of these videos. Normally, I can let the kind of SatNav, you can hear the SatNav and the noise of the car and the noise of the traffic and things, but I'm not allowed to publish the conversation between the examiner and the learner, and they were chatting all of the way around, so I've had to mute it completely. Anyway, they are following the SatNav, and they're just coming up to the traffic lights at the end of Bayton Road. You can see the traffic lights are changing and the traffic's moving on. There's a bit of a queue, and she's just keeping a nice distance there from the other learner car that's in front. Could be that they're on test. I can't quite remember whether the blue car was on test as well. And but anyway, that's all by the by. She's just stopped a little way back, and that's fine. She's given herself a little bit of leeway. There's a hill start. The lights have changed to green. It is a hill start. There won't be any rollback, so look out for that, because she's very, very good at hill starts normally. Let's see. No rollback. That's fantastic. Well done. And again, we're coming up to the back of the blue car. The lights, you can see, have gone to red. Now, when we get to the traffic lights, we'll be turning left. And the SatNav at the moment is telling them to turn left and then turn right at the roundabout later on. So the lights have changed and we're moving on. Their conversation, by the way, the reason why I've had to mute the background, their conversation was mainly based around the fact that the learners, which gone through there in amber, actually that's okay, isn't it, to go through amber? Stop if it's safe to. So the lights changed just as she got there, and obviously we're in a traffic queue, so that must mean there's a car quite close behind, so she's had to continue on through there. So it's unsafe to stop at that moment. That's not the fault. She didn't get a fault there, so you know now that that's fine. We're coming down to the roundabout then, and again the SatNav is saying to turn right at the roundabout there. So anyway, their conversation was mainly based around the fact that the learner, Ellie, her family comes from Donegal in Ireland, and the examiner hails from Tipperary in Ireland as well. So they're having a little chat about that, about the old country, I suppose. I have you know, Irish heritage as well, so I know what that's like. Anyway, we've gone round the roundabout, and we're going to take the third exit, and that's going to be the one that takes you off towards the M6 roundabout. And here we go, and you can see here where the road signs are changing us to a national speed limit. And on this, which is a dual carriageway, means it's 70 miles an hour, doesn't it? In previous videos, I've said that this little stretch of road here is a dual carriageway with a national speed limit at 70 miles an hour. And I've had lots and lots of comments which tell me it's not. But if you rewind the video, you can see exactly where it changes to a national speed limit. Anyway, that's all by the by. We're going to get to the end here where the roundabout is. We'll be in the left lane. We'll be taking the first exit off of this one towards Coventry, and that's going to be Jimmy Hill Way, the A444. As I was saying though, their conversation was around Donegal and Tipperary and how far apart they are. So Donegal is in the northwest, for anyone that doesn't know, of Ireland, and Tipperary is in the southeast, and they couldn't be further apart. And yes, Tipperary is in the southeast of Ireland, so it's a long way to go. In other words, it's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. Goodbye Piccadilly, so long Leicester Square, you know the rest. But that's what their conversation was about. She's having to wait just here for a little while, just to wait for the space, and on she goes. And you'll see as we turn into this next road here, speed limit is going to drop down to 50 miles an hour, and it says Jimmy Hill Way A444. And the reason I put Jimmy Hill Way is because it says that on the road sign along here, and it says something else on Google, so Google have got that wrong. Now you'll notice that she's staying in the left lane here, and there's really two ways to go at the roundabout at the end of this. I mean, you can go left, but that only takes you into the stadium. But you can go really straight ahead or right. And if they wanted you to turn right, he would have said around a bit earlier than this actually to move into the right-hand lane. So, and now the SatNav also is telling her to go straight ahead the roundabout, taking the second exit. So when you get down to it, there is a choice of lanes really, and there's 3 lanes that go straight ahead, and she's going to choose a middle one, the centre lane. Now we would normally choose the left lane to go straight ahead since it's got a straight ahead arrow on it, but we know, because we know Coventry and we know this roundabout, we know what happens opposite it, we know that if you go into the left, the extreme left lane here, you will end up in a lane that only takes you into the retail park. So this is the correct lane, this is the best lane to choose to go through here, unless you are actually going into Tesco's or wherever, which we're not today. So she's staying in this lane, and that's fine. We'll see the lights change here, and just going on to green, and she's going to follow this lane around absolutely beautifully. She's really good at this, and we've trained on this roundabout quite a lot because it does crop up in a lot of test routes. But there we are, we've stayed in the lane, and that's just took us around and off of the roundabout, and away we go. And it's still a 50 zone at this point. See, it says it's marked for city, and we're going straight ahead. Again, this is going to take us all the way up to the top of the hill, and there will be some traffic lights at the end there. People do cut in and out. Now this video, you will see this test from time to time, it does look a bit like a hazard perception video. It really does. She has faced quite a lot of things. There'll be quite a few people that just wander out into the road, for instance, and one that came very close to being run over. And it was only by Ellie's quick reactions that saved her, really. So you'll see that in a few moments, but we're just waiting for these lights to go amber and then green, or red and amber then green, and then we can move on. Ellie's actually asking the examiner at this point about the next section of road, because the SatNav, if you come along here down the hill, and if the SatNav wants you to turn right into Holbrooks, it tells you very late. So she's just confirming that you know, are we going to Holbrooks or are we going straight ahead? And he said, just follow the SatNav. It will take you straight ahead. And he agreed it does say it very, very late when it goes to Holbrooks. Anyway, we're not going there. We're staying in the left lane, and we're going to go left at the roundabout along here, which is signposted for city centre. Now this roundabout along here, I have seen people just breeze up and breeze over as though there's nothing else on the road. And you see the cars in front, that one did it. And the white one, he's actually waiting. But there you go, we're moving up to the line. She's slowed down a little bit, she's had a look, she's seen it's all clear, and away you go. Now on the video here it says that this section is 50 miles an hour, but just at this moment on the 25th, it's temporarily down to 30. So you can see it says 50 there. That's what it normally is. It's actually a 30 mile an hour road at the moment because of the roadworks. And you can see we're passing lots of signs that say 30. You'll also notice that she's the only car doing 30 along here because everyone else seems to just ignore that. When we get to the roundabout here, we'll be going left and then left again, and now it's officially 30 miles an hour. We're going left and then left again at this roundabout. So it's going to be the first exit. This is a blue ribbon roundabout. She's breezed in and she's going to turn left again. And as she turns left into this next road, you'll see where Ellie actually saves someone's life. There you go. What an eventful test. If you look at on the left hand side of the video, you can see there's a lady walking. She's looking at her phone and she just steps out, and Ellie has to just swerve around her to avoid her. So and now she's having to pull in and park on the left. And this is does that say Lythall's or Lythall's lane? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, there it is. And they very often get you to stop in exactly this place, actually. And I do have a video that I made 5 years ago about the test routes, and it was just me driving around the test routes at that point. And this is actually one of the test routes. So they're still using this route. And if you look at the test routes on the channel, and it says all the Coventry test routes, this is one of them. They're still using it 5 years later. Anyway, we're coming round here. Now this is a very busy road, and you'll see someone else in a few seconds just wander out in front of the car, and you know, absolutely no idea that the car is there. So that would be number 2. I think in total there was 4 people that did that, and there was various other people just in the road for no apparent reason. She's going quite slow because of all the traffic. There you go. There's the next one. Just wanders out. Thank you very much. And away he goes. And what our hero Ellie is having to do is just hold back a little bit and let the traffic through. And along this road you will have to do that quite a bit. This road used to be horrendous for the road surface, but they've recently resurfaced it, so it's actually quite nice. And it's quite a bright day as well, isn't it? Yeah, so bright day for November, really, end of November. Certainly, while I'm doing this commentary, we're in the 9th of December. There's someone else, look. Just wander out. There you go. Luckily, she's been asked to pull in and park just near to this car. But the examiner said that quite late, actually, so she had to stop quite abruptly, and now she'll just reverse back a bit to make some room and then get herself out again. There she goes, just backing up a bit. Thank you very much. Enough room, and then she'll be able to get out. So that was kind of the examiner saying that a bit late, and also you know, Ellie having to concentrate on other things with oncoming traffic, parked cars, narrow road, and people wandering out. So she's coped really, really well there. And again, that's not the fault. I'll tell you when the fault comes, don't worry. So when we get to this roundabout up here, we will be turning left. And we're turning left from Lythel's Road or Lane, whatever it was, at the roundabout, first exit. You see it's all clear, so we can go. That's excellent. And the SatNav is telling her, well, actually, it's going to be the second road on the right here. And they're not that close to each other, these two roads. And the second road is just around a bend. So it's not always easy to see unless you're kind of really paying attention. So it is going to be the second right. That's the first one. We just pass in there, past the bollards and around the corner. And then you'll see the second one come up now quite quickly. You see where the bollards are there? It's just past those. So here we are, the second road on the right. And as we turn in here, you will notice that the speed limit will change back down to 20. This is Compton Road, as it says on the screen there. And they do use this road quite a lot to do their kind of reversing manoeuvres. So sometimes it will be a parallel park, and sometimes it will be driving over or parking on the right hand side of the road and reversing back a couple of car lengths. There's not really a name for that, I don't think, but that sometimes it's that one. And in this case, that's the one it's going to be. They will eventually park on the right hand side of the road. She's just waiting for this other learner to come through there, and then she's moving on, and again she's done that very well. The other learner was going quite slowly even for a 20-mile-an-hour road, but we're following this around now. It does bend around. In a few moments she's going to be asked to put it. There's someone else in the road, look. Pushchair. At least he's not, he stroke she hasn't kind of, you know, crossed in front of the car. But there was another one. Before we get to the end there, she'll pull in and park on the left. And that's where they'll do the manoeuvre. I think it was on here. If it's not, they're going to turn left at the end of this. Oh, no, here it is. That's right. So just pulling up. I've got that wrong, haven't I? This is the angled start. And then they're going to go to the end of the road, turn left, and they'll do the reversing manoeuvre on that one. But this is the angled start. And he's asked her just to pull in, leave about a car's length space so she can pull out again. And out she goes. And that's very, very nice. And we can see when we get to the end of this one, it goes back to a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Creep up, look, creep out. That's the formula. It will never fail you. This is then St Luke's Road, and it's off Compton Road, and she's going to be pulling in and parking on the right soon. There we go. The sun is quite bright, isn't it, actually, shining on the lens. She's just pulled up here just so she can allow this other car to come through, so then she can move over to the right hand side. And again, look how slowly it's moving. I don't know, these learners get on with it, mate. There you go. All right, so now we can move over to the right hand side, I think, and then we can park up and reverse back a bit. Just let this other guy through first. And there we are. Now the big thing about this manoeuvre is it seems quite easy, but you have to remember to first of all keep the car in a straight line, keep it controlled, keep it really slow, and keep looking all around, particularly over your shoulders. So I always say, again, like I do in all of these videos, there's two key words when you're doing a reversing manoeuvre, and those two key words are control, so keep the car really slow, control, and shoulders. Keep looking over your shoulders, keep looking all around, not just one shoulder, mind, both of them. And if there's anything that's moving toward the car, any traffic on the road, or any pedestrians on the pavement, then you must stop, let them go by before you carry on again. But we're just reversing back quite slowly. We've stopped now. That would suggest there's another car that they're waiting for to go by. Let's see if that is the case. There you go. It happened to be a van. And we're going to reverse back a bit more until we've got to the 2 car lengths back. We've stopped again here. Now, does that mean she's gone back far enough, or does that mean that she's waiting for another car? There it is, white one gone through. Easing back slowly, and well, we've gone back quite a way. Let's see if that means that she's waiting again for another car. So St Luke's Road, it's not quiet, is it? There's lots of cars coming through here. This is going to be about the right distance here now. So she'll stop and then she'll drive on. Now, when you drive on from here, you must remember to look over your left shoulder, and don't do a token look. Don't do it as though I've been told to do this. Do it properly. See what's there. He will know if you've done a token look or if you're actually looking properly into the space. He'll know. And actually, she's quite good at that. And we're going to get to the end of this road, and we're going to be turning right. And that's going to take us back onto Lythals or Lithals, or however you say that. I'm never quite sure with some of these words, how you pronounce them, some of these names. There you go, Lithals Lane. I'm going to move up to the traffic lights there. And when we get to the lights, we'll be turning right then. And you'll see that she'll move into the right-hand lane. The lights have gone to green. You will notice that she'll hold back slightly because she wants the, the junction to clear. Actually, she's having to wait. And we can stop there. Actually, when she does move on, you'll notice that she's going to hold back slightly just to make sure the junction's clear and it's safe for her to move around there. Quite a busy road, isn't it? Quite a busy junction. We can see there's a few people turning right into this road. And there's one car opposite and there's another car joining it. So as we start to move forward, there's now 3 cars to take care of. And you can see just about now she'll hold back slightly there and then she'll move around. So she waited to make sure that the road was going to be clear. And that's, again, fantastic driving. So it just shows that she's alert and she's taking note of everything around her. And that's why this is such a good test. She's so good at planning ahead, and planning ahead is what the test is about. As long as you do it correctly, it is what the test is about. Really is. Anyway, as we come down, there's some more traffic lights along here. And these ones are on red. There seems to be a lot of red lights, don't they, actually? Just one of those things, I suppose. And we'll just have to wait for a few seconds while these lights change. We'll just be going straight ahead at these ones. It's not a left turn for us. Just as a kind of, so you can get the kind of geography, the layout. If you did turn left here, you'd be going up towards Morrison's. But we're not, we're going straight ahead. Lights are changing. Someone running across the road. Now we're going out onto, we got onto green and we're moving on. And there's another set of traffic lights along here as well. And you can see she's nicely tucked into the left lane, meaning she's going straight ahead at these ones as well. And that's what this road does, actually. It takes you around a bend a bit later, down a dip where there's a bend and some shops. So what that means is there's always cars parked, and it makes quite the wide space that it is. It's quite a wide road. It makes a wide road quite narrow. There's normally cars parked on both sides, and we can see here's a red car parked and a van, and we'll see some bollards. There's cars parked opposite, and now suddenly the road has gone quite narrow, and you can see She's slowed down again to let these people cross in front of her. They were quite a long way off, weren't they, those ones? So, but she did cope with them very well, to be fair. It's easy to lose concentration with these things, particularly under the kind of strain and the pressure of a driving test, you know. So it's good composure. And when we get to these lights, we're going to turn right. Now you'll go over the level crossing and then you'll turn right inside the junction. Now, one thing about the road that we're going to turn right into here, where that lorry is going, you know, DM Harris lorry, where that's going, is it's going to be a 40-mile-an-hour road. Bearing in mind we're on a 30 road at the moment, and we're going to change to 40. So there should be some signs that tell us that, shouldn't there? There should be some road signs that say, yep, this is a 40-mile-an-hour road now. See if we can see any. See if we can see any signs. There hasn't been any yet. The Mercedes is moving on. We can move on. Road signs telling us 40. No, not yet. No, still no road signs. We just got to know. Winding House Road is it? Winding House Lane, sorry, is a 40-mile-an-hour road. Yeah. So there's no signs, but you'll need to get up to 40 along here. I mean, particularly today because it is all clear, isn't it? We want to keep pace with the traffic, and that's exactly what she's doing. So very good. There's also no road signs going the opposite way as well. So everyone has to guess that it's a 40 road, which it is. And again, for your, it's coming down to the Ricoh roundabout. I say Ricoh, it's CBS now, isn't it? I think everyone calls it still the Ricoh. Coming down to that roundabout again, we went straight ahead at it just before, and now we're coming down to it. We're going to be turning left, and that's why she's staying in the left lane. See, the Mercedes in front, they kind of misread the lights, and you'll see a lot of people do that here because the traffic lights further ahead are quite close. So it depends which ones you're looking at, really, you know. So yeah, our lights are still on red. The other ones went to green, so he's read them wrong. Luckily, he's realised in time and stopped, but now we can go. We're staying in the left lane. We're going to turn left at the roundabout, taking the first exit. And that's going to take us back into Jimmy Hill Way, which is the A444. And it's a 50-mile-an-hour zone. And you really do, when you get onto this road, you really do need to get up to that speed, really. So we came along it on the opposite direction earlier, and now we're coming back down towards the M6 roundabout. But, you know, it's a dual carriageway. It's marked at 50, and we need to get up to that speed. We need to get up to 50. And you can see she's picked up a bit of speed now, and she's travelling along this road quite nicely. Again, there'll always be people that overtake you. There'll always be people that are going quicker than the speed limit. But that's up to them, isn't it, at this moment. Now, she's being told now to go at the roundabout to follow the road ahead, the A444 marks for Nuneaton. And you can see that these two lanes will split into 4. And if you count them from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, the Nuneaton lane that she needs is lane 2, and she's going to move directly into that. There you go, into lane 2, and you can see on the road it says A444, and that takes you right up to the roundabout here. This is the M6 roundabout coming out of Coventry towards Bedworth, really. And we're just having to wait at more red lights. And again, this is a gradient, isn't it? This is going to be a hill start. She's done a couple of really nice hill starts when she's waiting at traffic lights. She's done a couple of those, and there was no rollback there either. So that was, you know, pretty well perfect as well. She just needs to stay in her lane here, which she's absolutely doing. Staying in her lane, following where it says A444 around. And let's see if these lights will be kind to us and stay green. So far, so good. and again she's too close to stop, so she's gone through. And again, that is not the fault. If you leave a comment, you can leave a comment if you like that that's the fault. It is not. It's not the fault. She didn't have time to stop. This road, though, is a 70 mile an hour. It's a dual carriageway again. We saw a national speed limit just before we entered the roundabout. And yeah, so it's a 70 mile an hour road. And actually, you can see there's a nice space in front of the car. And she's not losing or gaining ground. She's really matching the speed of that car. So we can say that she's keeping up to the speed of the road. Even if this is not 70, she's still keeping up to the speed of the traffic. And that's very nice. And actually, we are gaining slightly on the car in front, but not too much at this moment. She'll be taking the first exit off of this dual carriageway, and that's signed for Bedworth. And here it is. Signed for Bedworth. In half a mile, she'll be taking that exit. You'll see some countdown markers. And when you get to the first countdown markers, the one with 3 stripes, that's the time to check your mirrors and indicate for left. And we're just coming up to that now. Here it is. So she's checking her mirrors. She's indicating for left. And that's given the vehicles, the traffic around us, lots of notice that we're going to be turning off of the dual carriageway just here. You'll notice as well she's not slowing down, and you mustn't slow down whilst you're on the carriageway there. But now, when you're off of it, onto the slip road, this is the time to slow down. And because she's staying in the left lane here, we know that she'll be turning left at the end of this road. Again, there'll be some traffic lights. And again, they're on red. And again, we'll just have to wait for a few seconds. Actually, on the test, just having to wait at traffic lights, you know, you could see it as though it's doing you a little bit of a favour, couldn't you, really? Gives you a little kind of breathing space, time to gather your thoughts, and time to just get ready and then go again. Almost like a mini break, really. So that's the way I try and, you know, swing that, but I don't know if anybody ever believes me. We're on Heath Road now. And again, along Heath Road here, at some point she'll be asked to pull in and park on the left. And actually, they do that maybe 5 or 6 times for different reasons, don't they, throughout the test. As we're coming along here, first of all, she's going to get herself, I think, around this car. Is she going to park before it? No, here we go. She's parking in this nice space just here. She's going to get level with the raised curb. Just, I think, we just made it. And then she's going to pull off. And again, this is a slight incline. So again, this is going to be a nice hill start. The key here is to make sure you wait for a big enough space so that you can move out without making anybody else slow down. And also that you give a signal to tell everyone around you that you're going to be pulling off, and that you check your blind spot before you move, just before you move, so that you know it's safe. And there was no roll back there either. So we've counted 4 brilliant hill starts, haven't we? 4 brilliant ones. Anyway, we're coming down to this traffic lights here, and we're going to follow the road ahead. And again, we can see that we're having to slow down a bit because the lights are on red. And we'll stop just this side of the cycle lane. Brilliant, that's it, good. And again, time to just take a breath and kind of gather your thoughts, get ready, and then we can move on again. Later on along this road, there's a double roundabout, isn't there, that's marked for Exhall and Kersley, and she'll be following the Exhall signs. So she'll be going straight ahead at the first one and left at the second one. And it's important that you treat this, someone else walking out in the road there. It's important that you treat the 2 roundabouts as separate entities. Obviously, we're having to wait at the temporary lights at the moment, but just beyond there, and you can probably see there the signpost which tells you there's a double roundabout there. So we're going straight ahead at the first one, so that's the second exit, and left at the first one, so that would be the first exit then. And you'll see the lights have gone to green, and we'll follow that around. There we go. Going past the temporary lights. We're coming up to the roundabouts now. The sun is shining. The reflection of the sun is shining on the road, so it's difficult to see them. But this is the first one. We'll be taking the second exit, so it's exit 1. And now we'll be turning left at this one. And that's the first exit. So second exit on the first one, and first exit on the second one. Now here's an interesting thing here. We're in Bowling Green Road. We've just gone past the double roundabout. And the examiner is explaining to Ellie, the learner, well, she's not a learner anymore, is she? Because she's passed. But anyway, at this point, she's still a learner. He's explaining to her that the SatNav is saying this is a 60 road, but it's not. It's a 30 road. We know it's a 30 road because although it looks like it's countryside, there's still actually lampposts and no other signs. So that means it's 30. But that's a thing to remember, isn't it? If you're on this test route and you're going along Bowling Green Road here, and it's saying on the SatNav that it's 60, and it's not. It's 30. So have a look out for that if you're on the test here. The test SatNavs haven't got that quite right, have they? As you're going to School Lane, still it looks pretty much, you know, countryside as well. We can see that the lampposts are there better. She's pulling up and parking on the left here, and here is where one minor fault happens. So see if you can spot it. We've just pulled up. The examiner's saying, okay, thank you, pull up, drive on when you're ready, and let's see what happens. Well, she's let that one car go by and another one. There's traffic oncoming as well. So it's a fairly busy road. There's lots of traffic going past her. Oh, there you go. We've rolled back. She's caught it and stopped it. So that looked like it was a long way, doesn't it? But the videos sometimes do that to you. What happened is it kind of, she thought she was in reverse and she didn't quite, sorry, she thought it was in first, didn't quite go in. So now she's having to stop. She's having to, you know, re-prepare the car for going again into first gear, and you'll see her move on. So she's made a mistake, but she's recovered from it, and it's not flustered her. It's not made her lose concentration. And when she does move off, you'll see she'll move off quite smartly. So in other words, she's made a mistake and corrected it. Remember that on your test. It's not about, they're not looking for you to make mistakes so they can get you and, you know, cross you off and there's another fail. It's not like that. They're looking at how you cope with each situation, really, and how you manage to work your way through. And she's coped with that one admirably. So that was a difficult word, wasn't it? So there you go. So that's why she's passed. Because she's a good driver, she's passed, and because she knows where all the roads go, and because she knows how to approach everything, and because she's got all of those techniques, but also and mainly because she can cope with any situation on the road, and she's demonstrated that with people walking out in front of her. She's done many brilliant hill starts. That one wasn't good, but it didn't throw her off, and so that's why she's passed. Anyway, we're coming up to these traffic lights here, and we're going to go straight ahead at these lights, and it's going to take us back into Bayton Road. And if there weren't enough people just wandering out in front of the car, we're having another one here. There you go. And he's walked over there. He's not even on the crossing. He's just off the crossing there. So there's another one. How many is that? 4. I think it was 4. 4 people just wandering out. This is Bayton Road. We're near to the end of the test, and it's really important just to keep concentration. And she's holding back again. She's going to slow down in order to make progress. The lorries come out of the way. There's another van and another car. And what's happening to the car behind? Is he waiting as well? No, he's not going to wait. He's going to come through. But that then is going to leave her a space that she can move into. The lorry's obviously parking. That's made it a little bit blind, hasn't it? So she needs to be a bit careful here, which she's absolutely doing. She's got a nice wide angle around the lorry there as well. And she's going to turn right into the test centre car park in a few moments. And what the examiner is explaining to her now is that when she does pull into the test centre car park, not to worry about where the lines are and where the where the bays are, because she's already done a reversing manoeuvre, and so she doesn't need to worry about that now. And they always say that when you turn into this car park, actually, so that's pretty good, isn't it? Notice how she's keeping on the correct side of the road. She's moved in. Brilliant. She's really concentrating right to the end. She really meant to pass this, didn't she, when she turned up? And she absolutely has done that. She's going to be turning right in the car park here. And the examiner at some point now is going to say, congratulations, you have passed. And that's brilliant, isn't it? So there's a real driving test in Coventry on the 25th of November 2024. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Cheers.